Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to look at what happens when the massive, terrifying physical monsters of Greek myth go head-to-head against the cosmic, literally law-bending power of Hindu Asuras. You know, when we think of monsters, our brains usually jump straight to ancient Greece, right? Those localized nightmares designed to test a hero's sheer muscle. But today, we're exploring a completely different, almost incomprehensible tier of adversary found in ancient Hindu texts. We're doing a deep, structural power scaling matchup to see who truly reigns supreme.
So here is our fight card for today. First up, the ultimate mythological matchup. Then, beasts versus sovereign empires. Next, we'll look at genetics versus cosmic boons. Fourth, we're bringing out the heavyweights, Typhon versus Hiranyakashipu. And finally, we'll wrap up with the final verdict.
All right, Section 1. The ultimate mythological matchup, Greek versus Hindu myths. Moving into Section 2, beasts versus sovereign empires, the scale of conflict. Let's start over in Greece. Greek monsters are, at the end of the day, beasts of primal terror. They basically just want to eat you or see how tough a demigod really is. They are singular, often cursed anomalies. Think about it, they're incredibly localized physical threats. The Nemean lion has that impenetrable fur. Cerberus is just guarding one specific gate in the underworld, and the Minotaur is literally stuck in a physical maze. Even the absolute mightiest of them are ultimately bound by flesh and blood. They act as these wild, chaotic forces of nature.
But wow, here is where things shift entirely. The word Asura absolutely does not mean mindless beast. Not at all. They are a highly sophisticated class of immortal, superhuman beings. In fact, according to the texts, they're the stepbrothers of the Devas, the gods themselves. So they aren't anomalies. They are an immortal race fully capable of dethroning the King of Heaven and surviving weapons that would literally shatter entire planets.
There is just a massive gap in how these entities operate. While a Greek monster is out hiding in a cave or some muddy swamp waiting for a hero to wander by, a Hindu Asura is probably governing an ultra-wealthy kingdom from a technologically advanced celestial golden palace. Put simply, a Greek monster wants to eat you. A Hindu Asura, they want to rule the entire cosmos. It's a fascinating cultural difference in what we actually find terrifying. Is it a physical threat to our bodies or a structural threat to the entire universe?
Section 3. Genetics versus cosmic boons. Let's explore their power sources.
So, Greek monsters rely almost totally on physical traits, right? A Hydra regenerates its heads, Medusa turns you to stone just by looking at you. But Asuras, they are absolute masters of Maya. Maya is illusionary, reality-bending magic, making them the ultimate loophole exploiters of the universe. They don't just rely on brute muscle. They literally manipulate the fabric of reality itself.
How do they get this insane power? Well, they essentially use a cosmic cheat code. Step 1 is unimaginably intense penance and meditation. And this dedication is so absolute, so intense, that it triggers Step 2. It literally forces the supreme creator gods to physically appear before them. Which brings us to Step 3, extracting a boon. A boon is an absolute, reality-binding wish that the universe is now legally obligated to uphold. Let's look at a concrete example. The shape-shifting buffalo Asura, Mahishasura, used his boon to completely rewrite physics. He secured a boon stating that no man or god could ever kill him. Period. He didn't win his battles by just hitting harder. He won because he completely rigged the game. He rewrote the cosmic laws, so the entire male pantheon of gods became absolutely powerless against him.
So, how in the world do you defeat them? With the Greek monster, you really just need a stronger sword or a clever physical tactic, like Hercules cauterizing the Hydra's neck so they can't grow back. But defeating an Asura? You actually have to find a loophole in their cosmic contract. You literally have to beat them in cosmic court before you can even step foot onto the battlefield.
Section 4. The heavyweights. Typhon versus Hiranyakashipu. Clash of the Titans. Over on the Greek side, we have Typhon. He represents the absolute, undeniable peak of Greek monstrous power. This guy was a massive, world-ending physical catastrophe. Pure chaos. His physical scale was just absurd. His head literally brushed the stars and his arms stretched all the way from the east to the west. He was so incredibly powerful, he actually ripped out Zeus's sinews during their fight before finally being defeated and pinned under a literal volcano, Mount Etna. He is brute force incarnate. But now, let's look at the Asura king, Hiranyakashipu.
Listen carefully to the exact, legally binding conditions of his immortality boon. He demanded he could not be killed by any created being, not inside or outside a residence, not during the day, not during the night, not on the ground or in the air, not by any weapon, and not by man or beast. He essentially legally divorced himself from the very concept of death. No way you're beating that with a sword.
When we put these two heavyweights side by side, the difference in operational scale was just staggering. While Typhon uses raw physical chaos to attack Zeus directly, Hiranyakashipu disrupts the structural fabric of reality itself. Typhon is a physical storm. Hiranyakashipu used his absolute immortality boon to literally enslave the gods, disrupt the natural cycles of the sun and moon, and alter the entire cosmic order. Typhon was stopped by dropping a mountain on him. Hiranyakashipu? He required a significantly more complicated solution.
To stop the Asura king, the supreme god Vishnu had to precisely thread the needle of that crazy immortality boon with an incredibly specific incarnation. He incarnated as Narasimha, an avatar that was half man, half lion, meaning he was neither man nor beast, he attacked at twilight, which is neither day nor night, he fought him on a doorstep, neither inside nor outside, he placed him on his lap, neither ground nor air, and he tore him apart using his bare claws, which are not classified as weapons. The sheer level of reality manipulation required to take down this Asura operates on a completely different, mind-bending tier.
All right, Section 5, the final verdict. Who actually wins?
Let's break it down into two categories. If we're talking about iconic, deeply psychological storytelling and raw creature designs that represent the terrifying, untamed corners of our physical world, Greek monsters take the crown, no question. They've inspired modern horror for millennia. But in a strict power-scaling matchup, the Hindu Asuras completely stomp. Honestly, it isn't even close.
Let's quickly summarize exactly why Asuras take the victory here. Asuras don't just fight gods, they conquer reality itself, operating on a tier that totally eclipses physical flesh and blood. They are immortal and fiercely intelligent strategists. They regularly conquer the heavenly realms. They use cosmic boons to rewrite the laws of life and death, and most importantly, you absolutely cannot defeat them with just a strong hero or a heavy rock. They require direct, surgical intervention from supreme cosmic creators just to reset the balance of the universe.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to debate. If Typhon and Mahishasura threw down in a completely neutral arena, could the raw, unbridled Greek chaos of Typhon somehow bypass that ancient, legally binding cosmic magic? It's a fascinating clash of paradigms. Physical catastrophe against structural omnipotence. Let me know your verdict on this matchup in the comments below. Thanks for exploring this explainer with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.